anything to OWASP community, right? Maybe transport services, but apart from that, right? So I would really listen with no kind of filters, like what's your agenda filter, right? To any recommendation or any request that you would send our way, because that would be a real world request. And if we have 5 other companies from 5 other sectors, or even your sector, who says that's what we need, that gives us OWASP focus and direction. So please, so you don't have to be a member to participate. We should have, OWASP should have such a compelling deal and offering that participating should not be a big issue.
One of the interbank stuff, I mean, they're more in, what do I get out of this? Like the whole marketing thing.
Yep.
The way we do the conferences. And then we're kind of missing out on certain key things. I mean, how many times have you been in front of the podium the past 2 days? 3, 4 times? Right there on the podium, they probably just want their name there. So that's sort of, you have to build out, we were talking about this before with the whole chapters, okay? And with the overall foundation, what also needs to do. They need to build like certain committees, like a marketing committee.
I agree. Okay, there you go. There's the working session for you to run OWASP. In fact, one of the working sessions that I will run OWASP, and I'll be in, which relates to what you're talking about, is I'm running a working session which is called Business Models Compatible to OWASP Values, right? And the example you're saying is I think it's a very clever thing that OWASP looks, hey, we got all these assets. There's all these companies who want visibility. Let's give them exposure as long as it fits within our values. So yeah, we have all these assets to sell as long as we don't become a freaking freak show of ads, right? I view that as being clever. I think it's clever if we can use the assets that we create. This conference is a massive asset. This conference is a money generation machine. Not a huge one, but it is, because there is assets to be associated with it. And half of those vendors down there are here because they want to be associated, and we bring them potential customers. So there's a working session for you to run in Portugal. Marketing opportunities across worldwide market, or maximizing OWASP marketing opportunities. Go, there's a ticket.
First, we're running out of time, but I want to say this quickly. I work for a bank right now, and that's not really the main problem that I have found. I'm also something with the office. And the main problem that I have, the more obstacles I found, trying to get the bank to endorse some sponsors, that ground dealers, so they don't have the name associated with banks. So that also we're all seeing.
We don't need to put their logo in. That's okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's where I think that if we start adding trips to summits, trips to here, direct dialogues with OWASP, because that's something to actually that's something that money buys. If you have somebody, and let's say we have different categories of sponsorship.
That's a good incentive actually.
Yeah, so my view is as long as it's within the OWASP values. As long as we are, promoting our mission statement, which we don't know which one it is, and our values, which we don't really know which ones they are, but as long as it's almost like as long as it feels that it's, we have those values, and as long as Mark Scurfy Ghost doesn't really freak out, because I think we have a great analogy to vendors that was given to us by Mark Curfey, and I think was really healthy, which is the whole idea that you can't come to OWASP to promote your agenda. You can come to contribute, you can come to share, you can come to learn, but you can't come to sell your product. Except if you are it's almost like as long as you're assigned on the assigned area where you're allowed to speak, vendor, right?
Sandbox.
Yeah, as long as it's sandbox, right, on that area. And but actually that's something that we could explore actually, and actually that could be tied to you. So how can we start giving our members? Here's a good idea, right? We could be, it doesn't sounds worse if you just arrive at the conversation, but we could be selling OWASP focus. So when you go to a corporate member like a bank, we can say part of what you get as being, it's almost like a non-vendor, what's it called, non-vendor member. We could say that we give you direct access to the guys who do the work.
Okay. Is Chris Hang here yet?
Who?
Chris Hang?
Is it?
Speaker for this room that starts in 5 minutes?
All right, we have, you guys any more questions, or can you wrap up? Cool. So I hope to see you guys at the summit. Again, let me know. And I think the guys here who are more active in the summit is Dinis, Sebastian, Juan, and Leonardo, and now Tom, and him.
I just want to say something real quick. If you have people in your organization or company or whatever that want to make a name for themselves or do some kind of extracurricular stuff, I mean, we could really use people on the work groups, not just for yourselves, but if you want to advertise it as a way to self promotion. It's great on your resume. Do something at OWASP, right? Weird.
Yeah.
So, if you want to be the next biggest Cruz, all you have to do is for OWASP.
Look, but it's true. I can honestly say that 100%. Okay, 95%.
Oh, my contracts.
I just had one recently. I give the percentage a little bit. 95% of my contracts over the last few years have been directly related to the people I met at OWASP. They don't hire me because of OWASP. They hire me because they see me, they see the stuff I do, and they at least give me a chance to pitch and to present what I need to do. And it's a really nice position to be when you're being hired, when they also are convincing you to work for them. So it's almost like a two-way convincing. So, and exactly that,